Python series, we'll be moving from arithmetic operators like the plus and the multiple to built-in functions that help you work with numbers. So some of these that we'll be looking at are the ABS for absolute, round, power for power, and then min-max, and a short intro to some math module functions. By the end, you should be able to explain what a function is versus an operator, use key built-in arithmetic functions, control rounding behavior with round, use the min-max to compare numbers, and also use functions from the math module. So what is a function versus an operator, right? A function in Python is a reusable piece of code that performs a specific task and usually returns a value. You call a function by rewriting its name followed by parentheses, right? So optionally with values inside. So let us look at some examples that we have here, right? We have this code already written out. I'm just going to copy and paste this into um, our land Python file. You can always pause the video and write it out to practice. So for the first one, we're saying we have a function called print 10, and this one is essentially instructing Python to print the number 10 to the console. And then this function is essentially saying get the absolute value of this this number here offered. It's -5, so it would make it positive, right? And this one is asking for the number 3.6 to be rounded, and since it's above 0.5, it's going to be rounded up to the next upper value, making it 4, right? If we run this one here, we do note that it's taken a second just because it's loading for the first time. While it's doing that, I'll just go back here and also add print values. So we see that on the console, we have a value of 10 logged. These ones did not print because we did not essentially instruct Python to print them out. So I'll just go ahead and add the print commands. It's asking to add this one, so I'm just going to accept. So here we now have this one having print, and the second one also having print. Okay, now if we run this, we will see that we have 10, 5, and 4 being printed out, right? Let's go back to our notes here real quick. So in comparison to what we previously covered in the other video series, we looked at operators and we said these were symbols like the plus, the minus, and the multiplication, just like they appear in math. Functions, on the other hand, have names, right? Like we've mentioned, ABS standing for absolute, and then we have round, min being for minimum, and max being for maximum. So we've already used the print function call already, and this specifically instructs Python to print to the console something. This is great if you for whenever you're building your UI and you want certain results to be printed onto the screen so that users can be able to interact with them essentially. Let's start off with the absolute value, right? This is represented by ABS, and then in brackets you put whichever value you want to find an absolute value of, right? So ABSX returns the absolute value of x, the distance from 0, always non-negative, right? So if x is positive or 0, the value is going to remain the same, whereas if it's negative, then absolute goes on to remove the minus sign. Let's look at these code examples. Given what we've described here, you would expect that when you write these lines of code, right, print absolute value of 5, print absolute value of -5, and print absolute value of 0. For the first line of code, we would expect a value of 5, right, because 5 is positive, so no change. For this one, we'd expect a value of +5. It changes, the absolute changes -5 to 5, and for this one, we'd expect 0, right? I'll just copy this and we'll run it just to verify that that indeed is the results that we get when we run that code. So I'll just copy and paste it here, right? Let's go ahead and run this code. All right, so when we look at the results here, we do see 5, 5, and 0, all of them positive, right? The second, this other section of code essentially is an example with floats. So here we're saying we have a temperature change of negative 2.5, right? So let's say we just care about the change. We don't care necessarily if the change was negative or positive. Would essentially then use the print function call and say make this value, uh, this variable here, make a temperature change an absolute value, right? And when we add temperature change, it's going to call the value that we had assigned to it, which was negative 2.5, and it's going to make an absolute of that one, and it's going to return 2.5, and that is the value that we see here, right? All right, let's go back to our notes here. We do have another example, and this one is an error, right? Let's say we have an error that is negative 0.03. And again, if we wanted to get the absolute value of this error, then we'd just say print, and then in double quotes, we'd put absolute error, right? This is just going to be printed to the console as a string, no calculations here. And then this is what is being calculated, right? The absolute of this variable here, variable error. If we run this code, which we'll do in just a second, note that the value is also going to be positive for this one, right? So I click here to run it, and here it does print out absolute error is 0.03, it being positive, of course. All right, so absolute value is often used when you care more about how big a difference is, right? Not necessarily its direction, right? It could be positive, it could be negative. That's not what you're looking for. You just want to know the value of that change, right? The next one is the rounding function. So for rounding, usually we use um, this formula here, right? Essentially, or function. We say round parenthesis x and then comma followed by n digits. N digits is essentially the number of values by which you want to round for, right? So if we look at these notes, we say this rounds the number x to a given number of decimal places, right? So x is the number that you want to round, this one here. And then the n digits, which is optional, you can use it or not, is how many digits after the decimal to keep, right? So if you skip n digits, Python rounds to the nearest whole number. Let's look at this in action. So we just copy or write up this code, right? And for the first line of code, we're saying print. So function call of print and then round this value here, 3.2, right? Here would expect a value of 3 because it's rounding it down. And then for the second one, we're saying print, round the value of 3.8. This one would expect it to be going towards 4. And then print, round the value of 5.0. This one would expect it to be just 5. All of them as whole numbers. So let's run this code here. And these are the responses that we get for the 3 lines of code. So for the first line of code, we get 3, and then for the second is 4, and for the third, it's 5, right? Just going on to show that round often just uses just rounds off to whatever values you specified. If you've specified the number of decimal points that you want to get, it will return those, else it will just make it a whole number. So let's look at this example with decimal places, right? So for this one here, we do have a variable of price, which is 19.987. And we're asking Python to print, right? To print this to the console. So that's the function called print this to the console, and also round that variable, which is price, to 2 decimal places, right? So this is what this line of code essentially says. And for this one, we'd expect the value to be this one here, right? If we could also pretty much change it to suit whatever needs we want, right? So we could also pretty much say please round the price to just one decimal, right? Place, and it's going to make that 20 if we do that. All right, so for pi approximate, usually whenever someone says, so this is variable pi approximate, we usually say it's around 3.142, but the value itself is usually longer with more decimal places, right? So, but we want to round it down to just those two or three decimal places. So we'd say print and then round the value of this variable pi approximate to three decimal places, right? And this is the value that we'd expect. We'll run the code here just to check that our code runs without errors. And surely enough, for the first line of code here, where we're asking for two decimal places, we can see the value is 19.99. And then for this second line of code, where we're saying print round price of price to one decimal place, we see that the value is 20.0, it being one decimal place. And then for the pi approximate value, we requested Python to print it to the console and round it to three decimal places. And this is the value here, 3.142, rounded off to three decimal places. All right, let's go back to our notes here. So yeah, round is often used when displaying results to users, like prices or percentages. Python's round uses bankers rounding for halfway cases like 2.5 or 3.5. This is a little on the advanced side, but we're just going to do a quick example just to demonstrate what we mean, right? So here we're saying, okay, the values are going to round up to the bottom, which is to the bottom or top whole numbers, right? But what if we had a value like 3.54, right? In this case, and this is not pi, so I'm just not going to call it pi. I'm just going to call it another random number. So I'll just say rand approx, right? And then I'm going to change this as well to print and round off the rand approx variable here to three decimal places, right? Oh, actually, let's make it even not three decimal places. We're just going to make it one decimal place, right? When we evaluate this one, notice that we're getting a 3.5. What if we just did, actually, let's do 0.57, right? So now it goes to 3.6, right? So this, in this case, it's not necessarily, okay, let's do this 3.5, and we will not specify this one here. We'll just make it, I'll just say round off that way. At 3.5, now it would go to 4, right? Because we're not specifying, we're saying we want it to carry to the closest whole number for this one in particular. All right. So the next one that we're going to look at is the power. We had looked at this one earlier, but when we did look at it, we looked at it using this function here, right? Or expression function. And we said we use a exponential b, right? So the star representing exponentiation. There's another function that you can essentially call in Python, which is POW, and then you put the values that you're calculating inside parentheses or brackets. So this also essentially means a to the power of b, right? So power a to b. This is essentially what it's meaning. So there are two main ways to do exponentiation, as we've already explained. And we're going to try to use these two on these examples just to drive the point back home. The choice of which one you use is up to you. Many devs tend to stick to the one that uses the stars because it's very simple, easy to remember, right? Because you know it's multiplication, so twice it's exponentiation. Others will choose to use the POW function because it's already using the word power, so maybe easier to recall for them, right? So it's up to you to choose whichever one you want to use. Both of them are going to return the same values to you anyway, so no need to yeah, concern to worry too much about that. So let's look at these two lines of code. We'd expect the same, the value to be the same, right? Because we're saying print to the console um, the value of 2 to the power 3. And this is the same. This line of code essentially means the same. Print to the console the power of 2 to the power 3, right? And for both of these, we'd expect the value to be 8, right? Let's run the code. And for these two first lines of code, notice that the value that we're getting is 8, 8. So that is right. And then let's move on to the next one. For this one, we're saying print the value of 5 to the power of 2, and also this one, print to the console the value of 5 to the power of 2, right? So Paul into parentheses 5, 2. So this gives 25. And then for the third one, we're saying print power of 10 to the power 0. Of course, this would be 1. And as we can see, this is 25, 25, and 1 for these lines of code. All right. So yeah, for normal powers, these two should behave the same, essentially. Most Python programmers prefer these ones, as I'd already noted, because it's just straightforward. Whenever you're doing this, though, just remember, do not use the upper caret, which looks like this. That is not used for powers in Python. All right. Now the next one we gotta look at is the min and the max, right? So this one is used to calculate the smallest and the largest values, right? So by definition, if you put your function min, right? Functions usually, like we stated earlier, that you always rely on the use of parentheses um, or open and close brackets, right? Because you're writing the function and you're putting the expression that you want to calculate or the values you want to calculate inside here, right? Um, so here we're saying the min of these values are x, y, and they can go on. It could be up to essentially a million values within um, these brackets here, and it will still be able to calculate that fast. And this is the same for this value here. We're saying we want to calculate the max of the values inside these brackets, and this should return the largest value among its arguments. So let us look at a few examples here, and here we're noting that they do work with numbers and other types, and we'll just use a couple of examples here just to show you what we mean by that. So for these first examples that we have this first line of code saying print the minimum of these two values, right? We'd expect that to be 3. And this one says print the maximum of these two values. That would expect it to be 7, right? So if we run this, we do note that the values that are printed to the console are 3 and 7 for min and max. And then for this third line of code, we have for this third, okay, battery's running low a little bit here. So for this third line of code, we do see that we have a minimum of these three values at 10, -5, and 2, and the max is we're looking to calculate the max of the same values as well, so 10, -5, and 2. If we run this, we do note that the max is calculated to be 10 and the minimum is calculated to be -5. And this is true for those ones here. So we would know that the code is essentially right.